My name is Max Jones. I'm going to show you how to make a world famous skillet cookie. My journey with skillet cookies began when me and my family would take trips up to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where we would eat at a little Irish pub there, and we really enjoyed their skillet cookie dessert. But a few years later, they canceled the dessert, which made us very sad. And so I started to do research on how to do the perfect skillet cookie. And after extensive experimentation, I found that this process will work with any cookie. First step on your path to the world famous skillet cookie is to gather, obviously, the cookie dough, but also the toppings. I have a few toppings here. Crushed pretzels, sliced peanut butter Reese cups, candied pecans, and flaked coarse sea salt. And then you got the vanilla ice cream and the chocolate sauce. With physical tools that you'll actually need in this process, you'll need a ice cream scoop, a spatula, a metric scale, some oil to grease your pan, and of course, the skillet. The second step, once you have everything put together, is to measure the cookie dough. The cookie dough can be anywhere from 100 to 105 grams. I have 99 grams. That's close enough. So now, before we put the cookie into the pan, we want to grease it. You just want a little bit of a light sheeting on it, so you can tell I got the whole pan. And then you just want to transition the cookie dough over, just like that. Now we're ready to put it in the oven. The oven, you should have preheated it to 375 degrees, so you can get the perfect cooking time. We don't want it too hot, we don't want it too cold. So then when it's preheated, we are going to open it up and put our cookie into there. Now, unlike other cookie recipes, we're not done. The next step is that every 5-minute increments we add something. So once it's been in there for a few minutes, we add the pretzels. Then 5 more minutes, we add our Reese cups. In another 5 minutes, we add pecans. And lastly, we add our sea salt. This is all a very important process to having the world famous skillet cookie. Now that the cookie's been in there for about 5 minutes, it's time for our first topping. Obviously you want to use an oven mitt so you don't burn your hand. So you want to do this part a little quickly. You're going to take the pretzels, and I set them or kind of press them into the soft dough. The idea is that you want to have a good kind of covering of pretzels. You have like a little nice amount of pretzels on. You're going to put them back in for 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes elapsed. It's time for our next step. So we're going to take the cookie out, and then we're going to add our chocolate Reese cup. So I generally add. I'm pretty freehand with it. I try to position them, whether right over the pretzels. So once you've kind of covered the pretzels with your Reese cups, then you put it back in the oven for 5 more minutes. Around the 13-minute mark, or somewhere abouts, you're looking for the chocolate to have melted. And so you see a little bit of that here. So now what you want to do is add the candied pecans. Now you add them according to taste. I don't like too many on there. And also you add your sea salt. Don't want to add too much. Just at the tippy top. Then you just put it back in the oven for up to 2 or 3 minutes. And after that, we get to our next step. Now we get to our next step, plating. First, we want to take out the cookie. That looks really good and smells really great in the house. Now we want to transition it from the hot pan to the plate. Now this can be a little bit of a challenge. But you want to kind of gently work around the cookie. You might want to put it down. It's going to be a little warm in your hands. So you want to be very gentle with it, because you don't want to break the cookie or to tear it apart. So you want to gently work your way around with the spatula. Then once it's gently worked around, you just kind of scoop it up like a pancake and gently lay it in there. As you can see, I lost a little bit. That's okay. So now that it's on the plate, we get to the next part, which is my favorite part, plating the cookie. I don't like putting scoops as much as kind of like a half scoop on it. So you want basically about this amount of ice cream. So you just put that on the piping hot cookie. So you want about 4 half scoops or thereabouts. I like a little extra ice cream in mine. So after you've done that, my next part, the decorating with the chocolate. So the main trick to remember here is you want a kind of a gentle, constant stream. So you can just drizzle on top. You don't want too much because the cookie's already decadent. But I do it because it looks pretty cool. So your end result should look something like this. Our last step, and my personally favorite one, is enjoying the cookie. Some things you should be aware about this step is not eating it too fast and protecting it from your parents or your siblings. And be prepared to have to make a lot more to compensate their stomachs when they do not get enough. In conclusion, the skillet cookie process is denoted by several steps. The first being gathering your materials, your dough, and your toppings. The second step is actually making the cookie, is applying your toppings at critical points of the baking process. And the third, plating, which is the most important because that's what people will see when it's not in their stomachs. And step 4 is enjoying the cookie. Enjoying it slowly and savoring it and being prepared to go on a long run afterward to run off all those calories. Now, it's time to partake.